This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, the most important news from this week and why it matters to people in the business of podcasting. I'm Newton Shuttlecotty.
And I'm Gavin Gaddis.
The Download is brought to you by Podscribe. Find out more at podscribe.com.
This week, the business of business podcast audiences, YouTubers' expose might impact podcast advertising campaigns, anticipating what might or might not happen with TikTok, influencer marketing and the rise of the micro niche creator, and it's hard to sell soft news with keyword blockers. Let's get started.
This Thursday from Tom Webster, an upcoming report from Sounds Profitable and American Public Media will launch a new series dubbed the Sounds Profitable Educational Series. The first live presentation will feature Tom debuting the Business Podcast Consumer, which looks at the consumption habits of business podcast audiences. Most notably, they are twice as likely to listen to self-improvement and health and fitness podcasts compared to the average podcast listener. A quote from Webster, quote, "From an ad sales perspective, this means that the types of messages this audience resonates with are more than just financial services related. These consumers are looking to optimize more than just their wealth, but also their health, mental included, and their place in the sun. This makes advertising in business podcasts a wonderful vehicle for all kinds of products and services to an audience that has money to spend and is already change-minded or at least open to improving their lives in any number of ways," end quote. More data will be premiered on Wednesday, January 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in a 30-minute presentation featuring special guest Kai Riesdahl from Marketplace.
This Tuesday from TubeFilter, affiliate marketing YouTube was recently rocked by an expose video posted by YouTuber MetaLag. Since 2012, the coupon code aggregating browser extension Honey, now PayPal Honey, has used YouTube content creators and podcast episode sponsorships to promote their product. Users of Honey simply click a button when on the checkout page of an online shop, and Honey tests several known coupon codes to save the user money on the purchase. Another common way both YouTubers and podcasters drive income outside of sponsorships like Honey is an affiliate marketing link to products mentioned, reviewed, or recommended in their content. Generally, affiliate links leave a cookie behind in the user's browser, so if the user doesn't immediately buy the product and comes back later, the affiliate marketer still gets credit for the sale that they drove. MetaLag's expose alleges evidence that whenever PayPal Honey is used on the checkout page of an online store, Honey wipes existing affiliate cookies and replaces them with Honey's own cookie, giving the company credit for influencing the sale over the content creator, which, if true, would impact any affiliate marketer the consumer had come into contact with recently, not just those who signed advertising deals with PayPal Honey. In response to MetaLag's video on the subject, a class action lawsuit has been filed against PayPal Honey by lawyer and YouTuber Devin Legal Eagle Stone. While coverage is focusing largely on how YouTubers are responding to the Honey allegations, it's worth noting this applies to all direct-to-consumer marketing efforts. If the allegations prove true, the popularity of Honey as a podcast advertiser would mean quite a few podcast promotional campaigns might have been impacted over the years.
This Monday from Antoinette Sue at Digiday. As a possible TikTok ban encroaches, creators of all stripes are looking to preserve their audiences and imagine a future without the platform. After the Supreme Court's decision in December to ban TikTok unless its parent company sells to an American publisher by January 19th, the app is set to argue its case this month. ByteDance's lawyers aren't the only ones preparing. Many online content creators, from influencers to small businesses, are making plans for where to go if the app goes under. However, not everyone is worried. In the ever-changing landscape of social media, creators have long diversified their reach by planting a flag on multiple platforms. And while the loss of TikTok will be a particular thorn in video creator sides, other platforms like Instagram and YouTube Shorts have video options that could fill the gap. Part and parcel advice to creators has always been to establish their content on as many platforms as possible. And this is not the first time there has been a potential mass shift away from one, i.e., many users' flight from X to Blue Sky at the start of this year. For podcasters that utilize TikTok to share clips and viral moments, the platform has been a way of grabbing new listeners and drawing them to hit play on the actual show, making a potential ban less dire than, for example, a small business owner who uses the platform's shop to take orders and its algorithm to find a majority of their customer base. Podcasters Basecamp is the show itself, and there are still plenty of viable places on the internet to promote it.
This Monday, according to Digiday's Kamiko McCoy, marketing agencies are going small but mighty. Many have decided that micro and nano influencers that reach niche communities are giving a better ROI than large influencers. By advertising products directly to specific communities that are tightly knit, businesses are finding that customers are responding better to influencer collaborations and are more likely to close out a sale. According to Greg Curtis Jr., Director of Influencer Strategy at Empower Media, quote, "The spend is absolutely skewing far more towards the nano and the micro influencer over the follower count just because of the genuine connection they have with their audiences," end quote. Podcasters, of course, are the ultimate niche influencers, with shows on every topic and point of view reaching millions of people a day. For example, host of fragrance podcast Perfume Room, Emma Vernon, partners with fragrance marketplace Lucky Scent to sell curated sample packs and book club-style group fragrance testings. As brands look to connect with these groups, from true crime fanatics to perfume enthusiasts, there's no better bet than podcasting.
This Tuesday from AdExchanger, a recent Wall Street Journal piece highlights growing frustrations between news publishers and advertisers. While the struggle of publishers finding their content demonetized due to antiquated keyword block lists has been an ongoing issue for years, certain publishers are reporting even their intentionally soft content gets caught in the crossfire. Back in September, the Washington Post reported 40% of their inventory was deemed brand unsafe, including a crossword puzzle due to a banned word appearing in a clue. Other offenders, like an article about a thunderstorm featuring a sentence describing thunder as sounding like artillery, which flagged anti-war block lists. Lifestyle content also isn't safe, as an article ranking boxed brownie mixes was flagged for discussing drugs because of a sentence fragment explaining the boxed brownie mixes were available at grocery stores, mass market retailers, and drug stores. For listeners abroad, a common colloquialism for a pharmacy or chemist. Which makes the notion that decreased expenditures in hard news have been shifted to safer content from the same publishers less comforting. Even if advertisers move to softer sports and entertainment content, the same brand safety tools are flagging the safe coverage.
Finally, it's time for a quick hit. These are articles that didn't quite make the cut for today's episode, but are worth including in your weekend reading. This week, Headliner and Sounds Profitable release Paid Podcast Promotion Landscape. In partnership with Headliner, we've released a free comprehensive guide to the world of paid podcast promotion. Podcasts are taking over TV screens as video formats grow increasingly popular by Angela Yang. This NBC News article looks at why people are choosing video podcasts over traditional TV and what that means for podcasting considering pivoting to video, featuring a quote from Tom Webster, by the way. Navigating the Landscape of Serialized Podcasts by Dan Meisner. Meisner breaks down the pros and cons of serialized podcasting, what types of stories best fit into that model, and demonstrates the interconnected audiences of various podcasts with demonstrations of podcast neighborhoods and audience overlap. Number 8 has raised $2.7 million for AI privacy-first advertising ID solutions. The on-device AI startup is looking to grow as well expand in the United States. 5 Things We Learned from 65,000 plus audio listeners in 2024 by Paul Riesmandel. The Signal Hill Insight CEO shares what the company has learned from listeners in 2024, and Gen Z's revealing critique of Spotify's push to video by Stephen Goldstein. The Amplify Media founder pulled his NYU Business of Podcasting class, and here's what he found.
And that was The Download, brought to you by Sounds Profitable. I know we went through today's stories fast, so be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or on the download section of soundsprofitable.com. And thank you for sticking with us as we bring you the top stories you might have missed from the past week. I'm Newton Shuttlecotty.
And I'm Gavin Gaddis. Our producers are myself, Newton Shuttlecotty, Brian Barletta, and Tom Webster. Special thanks to Spreaker for hosting The Download, and special thanks to you for joining us. Robot?
Download complete.